What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with a review for The Real Housewives of New York City. I believe this is season 13. You guys can correct me in the comment section below. I believe it's 13. This is episode 1, and it is titled Back in the Big Apple. So you guys, before we get into this review, do me a solid favor out there. If you guys are not already subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell button so you guys are aware when I drop anything else, and hit that like button for me. All right, you guys, so let's go ahead and jump into the episode, shall we? All right, so I'm gonna start up with Leah. Actually, before I get into Leah, let's just talk about what we saw. So we saw all the ladies. We see that Luann has a new apartment. We saw Mario with Avery and Ramona. We find out that Leah's had some sort of surgery. I don't know where she had surgery at. We see Sonia. Sonia is still Sonia. And they also got a new intro card. I liked it. So now with Leah. So like I said, Leah, she has a new apartment and she has a new dog by the name of Angel. So we see Leah as she's talking to her sister, and she's telling her sister that she's very nervous. So Leah says that she is converting to Judaism. I don't know that I understand. I mean, she said that it was a challenge. Why is it a challenge to convert to a religion? You know, it's Leah. I love Leah, but I just don't understand her converting to Judaism. So we also find out that Leah has, stopped drinking once again, especially after her first season. I mean, the way she drunk last season, but she was hilarious nonetheless. Now, I don't know how this Judaism thing is going to work out for her, but, I'm going to wish my girl all the best of luck when it comes to that one. So then we see Leah, she gives her dad a call, and she's asking her dad to forgive her for not being the best daughter. Didn't necessarily understand. I guess she wants to go into the whole new year with a clean slate. But he tells her he doesn't know. He is Catholic, and with Catholicism, you have to repent. But with Judaism, you just ask for forgiveness. I'm assuming. I don't know. So also with Leah, we are introduced to our newest cast member, Ebony K. Williams. So we're introduced to her through Leah. So we see them, they're walking through the park and they're just talking to each other. And I will say right off the bat that I do like the vibes between Ebony and Leah 100%. So they're talking about dating. So Ebony had just gone on a date with a guy, and Leah, she's asking Leah about dating. So Leah was still dealing with the guy that she sent, remember last season, she told her sister that she sent the guy a picture of her naked with a pita chip by her hoo-ha. So she's still dealing with him, but she says he's a bit of a F-boy. And then Ebony asks Leah, is she open and ready to love? And Leah says, yeah. I really want Leah to be happy. Leah is my girl. Let's move on, you guys. All right, you guys, let's talk about Ramona next. Now, here's the interesting thing. So Ramona was walking down the street talking to her dog. So we found out that Luann, I told you guys a few minutes ago, Luann has a new apartment, right? So this whole scene was in Luann's new apartment. And so I'm like, why did this show Ramona as if this scene was going to be about Ramona when this scene was technically about Lou? So like I said, Lou moved into her new apartment. Now, she lives close to Ramona, and we also find out she lives close to somebody else as well. We'll talk about that in just a minute. So the place is really nice. I will give Luann that. So Luann is telling Ramona that she's not drinking. I'm like, oh God, Luann, we gotta go through this again. Because y'all remember last season, Luann was talking about she wasn't drinking. And then what trip was it that they went on when they were like, Lou, were they on a trip or were they out at a gathering? Because it was Dorinda who told her, Lou, that's not water. And she still drank it nonetheless. I've never bought this whole Luann. People, you can get in the comments and attack me. Well, actually, don't attack me because I'll block you. But you can disagree with me. That's fine. We can have a difference of opinion. But when it comes to Luann, I just feel like sometimes she milks that and that's just how I feel. I'm not saying that she's not an alcoholic or whatever, but it just sometimes feel like she just be milking it. Just gonna be honest with you. So then they talk about Sonya. So Sonya, I guess, has apparently been distancing herself from both Luann and Ramona, and they feel some type of way about it. I mean, if you got, well, they did say that they had reached out to her and she wouldn't respond to them. But in the middle of COVID, I mean, I mean, it's good to check on your friends, but I mean, some people are recluses and stuff like that. So now I know Sonya is not one, but it could be a lot of things going on with Sonya while she just, closed herself off. But I mean, if she sees the effort, then I'm pretty sure she's happy to see that. Then we also finds out that from Luann's apartment, she can see Tom's patio. I'm like, oh, okay. You didn't do the research before you moved over there, but whatever. I am not going to judge her. We're just going to move on. All right, you guys, let's discuss Ebony. So we didn't get a lot from Ebony. We just really got an introduction to Ebony. We know Leah introduced her to us, so we also see Ebony later in the episode. So her friend Natalie comes over. There's another black woman that's on this cast this season as a friend of the Housewives. I saw her in the trailer, but I don't know anything about her. I don't know her name or anything about her. I actually think I'm gonna go look up on her. So her friend Natalie's there, and she's telling her that she was up at 9:15. She was doing her show on Revolt. She was also doing her podcast, Holding Court. And I know she has another podcast with somebody else. She has another podcast. I just can't remember who it's with right now. But she's a busy girl. Definitely, she's a busy girl. And she's also, remember, she's a lawyer by trade. So she tells her friend that she is going to be moving back to Harlem. Now she had said she was gonna move to Harlem at one point, but when she went to go look into getting a house or wherever, she couldn't get it because her credit was shitty. They were like, the bank told her, your own mama wouldn't even give you money. I'm like, damn. What was your credit score? Ebony was just credit, because I mean, what were you at, the 300s? Jesus Christ. But we're not judging. But I do have so much respect for Ebony with being able to open up about that and saying that her credit was bad. Definitely have so much respect for her. And she was talking about how she dodged the repo man, but they got her. Yeah, they will get you. What people don't know is with the repos, it's not the repo man per se. It's the people who you got the loan through. Your cars have trackers on them. I hope you guys do know that the cars have trackers on them, so they can find the car. Like they can track that car down. Because when I was working at State Farm, those were some of the top claims that we would deal with, where people said their cars were stolen, but it wasn't stolen. It was repossessed. That was the funniest, because I actually had one where they said that their car got stolen, and we did a check and found out that the car had actually been repossessed. Had to deny that claim. But yeah, let's move on, you guys. All right, you guys. So we're gonna wrap this episode up with Sonya. So Sonya is having a brunch. She's inviting all the girls over. So at this point, Sonya is back at the townhouse. So you guys remember last season she was trying to sell the townhouse, and she also had her apartment. But with COVID, she was already having a tough time selling a townhouse. But with COVID hit, it got a little bit worse. So she just decided, hey, let me go back and stay at the townhouse. Now, I will say that there one scene I did not need to see when Sonya got in that bathtub. Didn't need to see it. Just didn't need to see it. So we see Ramona and Lou getting ready for the party. We see Ebony and we see Leah. They're getting ready for the party. Ebony asked Leah, has the ladies ever been around someone like me? And Leah said, someone like you, a black person? That's what I got. She was saying as well. Have they? That is an interesting question. Have these women been around somebody black, especially Ramona? You know what? We're not even gonna talk about Ramona, but so we just gonna move on. So they do talk about Leah and Ramona's relationship. Now, you guys remember at last season's reunion, they had it out because Luann. Don't know what that was. I just heard something come from the other side of my apartment. So Luann, where was he at? Where am I at? Where am I at? Where am I at? Where am I at? Ramona and Leah. You guys remember they had it out at the reunion last season because when Ramona was talking about Leah being on medication, they had that big issue. But at the reunion, they made up and they, you know, Ramona said that she wouldn't, because basically last season, Ramona, it was like she was trying to mother to Leah, but this season she's not going to do, well, going forward, she said they weren't going to do that, but they haven't saw each other since then. So then we see Ebony and we see Leah make it to Sonya's place. Sonya is trying to clean her little pond out. I was like, oh my God. Then you see her trying to pressure wash the stone. I'm like, girl, chill out. So they sit down and they start talking. Sonya, Leah, and Ebony. So we talk about the fact that Century 21, they filed for bankruptcy and they closed all their stores. And you guys remember last season, her clothing line was picked up by Century 21 and now they filed for bankruptcy and they closed the stores. She says that she is doing good on the retail, on the online side, e-commerce side, but she is, she has some losses from some sewing machines. So then Sonya asks Ebony if she wants kids. Ebony says she does want kids, but earlier in her life and her career, she was on the Oprah Winfrey track, and she was like she didn't want kids to weigh her down. But she was with her ex-fiance. They were together for about 4 years. I actually saw her say this on Wendy Williams' show. She was with her ex-fiance. They were engaged, but when COVID, hit, he went to stay with his kids who were older, and that's when they were forced to have the conversation that they were on two different pages. He wanted to be with her, but he didn't necessarily want to have children. So that's where they are. So then we see Lou and Ramona show up. So we found out that Lou has a new man who's from South Africa. And, Ebony is also dating someone that she's known for some time now. He owns, I don't know if she said if he owns an NBA team or an NFL team. He owns a sports team. So then they talk about Ramona, who she's with. She's been seen around New York City kissing Harry Dubin, and I'm just like, God, y'all really passed the men around. Harry, Tom, who else? I mean, like, y'all really passed the men around in this circle. But whatever. So, Ebony, very interesting. For her to say she wants kids, you're with another guy that already has kids that are in their 20s. So is he gonna want to start over? Because I think that is the issue. I don't know too many people when they're kids, men or women, when they have older kids that want to start over. But I mean, I want the best for Ebony. I actually really like Ebony. So the girls get up and leave, and then they go, they're going inside. But Lou wants for Leah to sit back with her. So Lou tells Leah that, she's not drinking once again, but this time she's just really struggling with it. And she asks her to be like her wingman. I'm like, really? See, that's my issue when it comes to Lou. That is my thing with Lou. I get it why don't you have a sober living coach or somebody that you can call and talk to? That if you feel that strongly about drinking, because Leah is not a licensed person that you can. Now I know Leah had not drank for years until she came onto the show, but Leah's not licensed in that to talk you through it. That is why I question her. It literally is why I question her. But Leah says she got her. So then they go sit inside, and Sonya is talking to Ramona and Lou. They're asking her why they haven't heard from her, and honestly, I think it's just the Century 21 stuff and just a lot of things going on in her life. Because they were talking about they haven't talked to her. She's like, well, I've talked to Leah. They're like, but we're your old friend. She's a new friend. What the hell they got to do with the price of tea in China? So they decide to go to the Hamptons, and they show us clips of what happens in the Hamptons, and it looks like it's going to be a shit show. But I'm here for New York. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode and what you guys think about the season. What do you guys think about Ebony as a new addition to the Housewives? And we will discuss below in the comments section. Subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell button, and I will see you guys in the next one. As always, you guys stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands, wear your mask, socially distance, and stay blessed. And we're going to get through this one together. Oh, also, I forgot to mention that Ramona said that she said that she had an instant connection to piece of hair. She had an instant connection to Ebony. Girl, I lie, don't care who tell it. But that's it, you guys. I'm off, and I'll see you guys later for the next review. Actually, I won't see you guys again until, what's that, Tuesday? Is it Tuesday? Yes, so I won't see you guys again until Friday for the week's hottest topics. Bye, guys.